வணக்கம், நான் நயினார் நாகேந்திரன் பேசுகிறேன். வரும் 22ஆம் தேதி மதுரையில் முருக பக்தர்கள் மாநாடு நடைபெற இருக்கிறது. அனைவரும் கலந்து கொண்டு சிறப்பிக்குமாறு அன்போடு வேண்டுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Sir, G7 meeting just got over, and we all know that the bilateral between the India and Canada went very well. Both countries agreed to restore the High Commissioners as soon as possible. So, how do you see that?
Well, I entirely endorse your view. The G7 meeting itself went off very well. The number of bilateral meetings the Honorable Prime Minister had also went off exceptionally well. President Trump had to return early on account of reasons which are very well known. And then he had a very productive 35-minute conversation with President Trump. But since your specific question is on the India-Canada bilateral meeting, I would like to start by quoting to you what the newly elected Prime Minister Karne said. He said, "I'm very happy, I'll give you the exact quote, I'm very happy to join India I'll give you the exact quote, honored to work with India on artificial energy issues and the anti-terror fight." Now, if you analyze that statement and then you come to the conclusion that, and you come to the outcome that we are restoring the resident high commissioners, I think there's a big story there. The fact of the matter is that Canada has always been an important country. It's always been an important friend of India. We have in excess of 1 million Indian origin people living in Canada. Our bilateral trade in goods alone is about $8-9 billion. But the relationship was spiraling downhill, and it finally resulted in us withdrawing our High Commissioner. And anyone who's got even a nodding acquaintance with consular services, I have a colleague whose daughter got married, and the Canadian High Commission were not in a position to even grant basic consular services. I'm not finding fault, because both countries had taken the eye off the ball and the bilateral relationship had actually sunk to new lows. With this successful meeting with the Prime Minister, the two countries are working together in a large number of fields. I only quoted to you Prime Minister Karne's statement that he's honored to work with India on AI, on energy issues, artificial intelligence, energy, and the anti-terror fight. Now that's very important, because our take is that relationship got derailed because of some factors in one of the country's domestic politics. I'm very happy. I think this meeting will result in a very positive outcome. We will be putting that behind us, and going forward, Canada, which is an important member of the G7, the host currently, and a known friend of India, we can resume the status quo ante, as I would say, a position of friendship and building on that. Again, this is an expectation. Much will depend on the actions in both countries. But as a student of diplomacy, I see good things happening.
So I want to ask one more question. The US President and Prime Minister Modi was very long and very fruitful.
35 minutes.
Yeah. So Modi said a lot of things like a clear conclusion on Operation Sindoor also. So
that it's an ongoing operation.
Yeah.
And that we have never given any ambiguity on this. This is a bilateral issue. When the Pahalgam attack took place on 22nd April, we made it abundantly clear that somebody will have to pay a price for this. These attacks were on terror establishments in a non-escalatory manner, and that the devastation that was caused in those 22 minutes was visible in the public domain through commercially available satellite imagery. So there was no ambiguity on that. Also, Operation Sindoor is ongoing. Any terror attack is viewed now as an act of war, and that when the discussions with the American side took place, there was never any discussion on trade. So not as if trade was used as a stick. Nothing, there was nothing of the sort. And that the request for a ceasefire came from the Pakistani side. It came specifically from their Director General of Military Operation. And our DGMO, after getting political clearance, responded in the affirmative. These are the hard facts. And I think those come out very clearly in this 35-minute conversation.